I'll kind of recap what I was doing. Basically, I was talking about Express middleware, and actually, I'm gonna go ahead and start. No, I'm just gonna keep going. So, anyways, here's an example of simple Hello World Express application, and that is what that is. Now I'm gonna go to hey Josh. I couldn't figure out why I couldn't hear myself, and it was because I didn't have the audio input as a source on my OBS. So I think we're good. I'm trying something new here. I'm talking about programming while I'm learning how to program because I feel like it'll focus me. So here we go. So notice the call above to next, calling this function. Yeah, thanks, man. I'm trying. I need to like really learn some stuff now because But I feel like this will focus me, and it has actually. I'm really trying really hard. So here's a simple example of the middleware function called myLogger. Oh, is the music bed too loud, Josh? I need to know that too. I don't think it is. Maybe it's a little too loud. I can turn it down a little bit. I'm gonna start the song over. I'm just hooked on it right now. Sorry. Um. So we created this middleware function. Okay, what about now? Is it still drowning me out? I turned it down a little bit, but maybe not enough. Maybe like that. I think that's probably perfect. Okay. Cool. Cool, man. Thanks. I appreciate that, bro. Thanks, Brian. Yeah, man. Join the chat, bro. maybe me and Brian could do something like this so we can both learn together. That'd be kind of cool. All right. So we created this middleware function, and if we remember correctly, here it says it can execute any code, right? So let's see here. This is any code. I'm assuming that this is any code right here. Hey man, I'm with it, Brian. If you want to, I'm with it, bro. So notice the call above to next. Calling this function invokes the next middleware function in the app. The next function is not a part of the Node.js or Express API, but is the third argument that is passed to the middleware function. Next function could be the name to anything, but my convention is always named next. To avoid confusion, always use this convention, and I think I just got it. Hey Jose, I'm sorry, I thought you could hear me earlier, but I was just trying to say hi, and I didn't have the mic on, but I saw you, buddy. So I think I know what happens in next. We're gonna create this middleware logger. Oh, we have created this middleware logger, right? And I guess it kind of has to go to the top before it can be read. So let's try that out. And then here. And then and I believe we're gonna add next. Well, no, let me. You know what? I don't want to get ahead of myself. Let's keep learning the way we've been learning. The next function could be named anything, but the convention is next. We read that. To load middleware function, call the app.use. See, I was about to make a mistake, so I'm glad I caught that. App.use specifying the middleware function. For example, the following code loads the myLogger middleware function for the route to the root path. Let me read that one more time. For example, the following code, this code loads the myLogger middleware function before the route to the root path. Right? The root path. So here, let's see where it gets put in here. So we have
Ricky is tired of everyone thinking he just
and more
pours
commercials.
drinks. He mixes them.
myLogger, we got the middleware
Squarespace.
code that we're going
And if
to
he wanted his
execute. And then we're
website
going
to look
to
as good as a
use
signature
this.
tinctures,
Okay,
Squarespace.
I'm just
Or
going to
upload a
copy and
menu of
paste that because I
cocktails
think
made with
that's
announced as something you can't pronounce,
10 my
Squarespace.
logger.
And how can Ricky tell his
And there
parents
it
he put his
is.
law degree on ice?
And then
You're on your
just
own there,
over.
Ricky. Whatever your dream, a
App
website makes
that
it real.
get
Make it.
root
Squarespace.
path,
Use offer code
hello
Spotify to save
world,
10% on your
app
first purchase of a
listen,
domain or
and
website.
just that. So
Fact. We all love
let's see what
video
happens there.
doorbells.
We got to restart
Voice
the server.
assistants have changed our lives. We can control our
Alright,
home with a
and then
touch.
go here,
Indoor and outdoor
and
cameras help us keep watch. We want to guard
so
our
when we
digital
refresh,
lives
something should
and
happen
take
here. Look,
security
it
with
got
us
logged.
on the
It
go.
got logged. I don't
With
know why twice, but it
ADT,
got
you
logged
can have all
twice.
of these things combined with 24/7 monitoring from the
We'll
most
just
trusted
assume
name
that
in
that's
home
okay
security.
for now.
ADT, real protection.
Then we have
Visit
here.
ADT.com to learn more. License information available at ADT.com.
So this
Frank's
did
Red
get
Hot is the
logged.
perfect blend of flavor and heat.
I'm
so you
curious
can put
just
that
because I like
on
to
everything.
Like buffalo
see
wings.
what happens,
Everything.
you know,
Buffalo
when it comes to
nachos.
voice and
Everything.
such.
Buffalo mac
So I'm
and
gonna,
cheese?
I'm gonna exit
Yes,
this
and
out.
also things
I'm
that
gonna
don't
place
start
it
with
after
buffalo. Frank's
the
Red Hot.
server
I
call.
put that on everything.
Okay, clear it out. Node index. I could just push up, but I'm not going to. It's listening. I'm gonna make the request, and it didn't work. It didn't work. So placement is very important here. We're gonna move it above here. Move it here. Quit it. Clear. Just to double check. See if it's working, and we have a log. And it only logged once, so I don't know why I did it twice the first time, but we're good. So, alright, going back to here. Every time the app receives a request, it prints the message logged to the terminal. Let's test that. Yep. So it looks like logged is good there. Alright. The order of middleware loading is important. Oh, see, it's one of those lessons that I tend to forget, that I should read everything first. And I tell my students this all the time. Am I right, Jose? That you should always read through it, the whole thing first, without trying to stop and learn everything at once. So, anyways, every time the app receives a request, it prints the message logged to the terminal. The order of middleware loading is important. Middleware functions that are loaded first are also executed first. If my logger is loaded after the route or route to the root path, the request never reaches it. Okay, let me read that again. If my logger is loaded after the route to the root path, I'm going to say route. I like saying route better. Like football. Run routes. Is loaded after the route to the root path, the request never reaches it, and the app doesn't print log because the root handler of the root path terminates the request response line. See, this is where I get the sentences are too long. Is loaded. My logger is loaded after the route to the after the route. Yeah, Brian, it is. It actually is. I don't know if you're watching, but yes, it is. But it is technically an API. But not like, like it's supposed to help you make APIs, I think. So, middleware function, my logger simply prints a message, then passes on the request to the next middleware function in the stack by calling next. That's not where I was. That's not where I was. If my logger is loaded after the route to the root path, or the route to the root path, right here. If my logger after, okay, so if I were to put it here, just like I just did, I don't know why I'm tripping. Right? The request never reaches it, and the app doesn't print logged because the route handler, I can't get over it. Can't get over which one to say. The route handler of the root path terminates the request response cycle. The route handler of the root path terminates the response cycle. Oh, okay. The route handler. This is the route handler. Terminates the request response cycle. The middleware function myLogger simply prints a message, then passes on the request to the next middleware function in the stack by calling the next function. This is where I got lost last time. I'm not going to give up. I will not. No regrets. Middleware function request time. Well, let me get that. No. The middleware function myLogger simply prints a message, then passes on the request to the next middleware function in the stack by calling the next function. What would be the next function? I don't even remember passing anything into my logger. Unless use does that. The middleware function my logger simply prints a message, then passes on the request to the next middleware function in the stack by calling the next function. Okay. Middleware function request time. Next, we'll create a middleware function called request time and add a property called request time to the request object. Alright, so let's see here. We're going to put this one here. Var request time equals function rec res next. And then I don't know why, but I always have to do this with one as a pattern, but it's cool. Rec dot request time. Brian, I don't know if you're listening, but essentially what Express is a server. Like from what I can tell, it actually does what servers do. It serves up things. So date now, and then we're gonna type in next. Okay, we're gonna save it. The app now uses the request time middleware function. Also, the callback function of the root path route uses the property that the middleware function adds to it. See, I'm lost again. The app now uses the request time middleware function, which we're good with. Also, the callback function of the root path route uses the property that the middleware function adds. Ooh. The callback function of the root path route uses the property that the middleware function adds to the request. So now response text. Oh, I forgot the music. Sorry, I'm gonna have to listen to it one more time. Response text equals let me see here. Ryan just chimed in. Yeah, if you run Express with Node module, you're gonna be start and it'll start up the server on your use. Yes. Just a simple yes. So response text is hello, and then world. I don't know why people capitalize that. I don't feel good doing that. But we're gonna do it that way. Oh, forgot the break in the line break, and then response text plus equals small requested at plus request that request time plus small res dot send Okay, so if you're watching this and you're like, what is that, Paul? What are you doing? And honestly, I'm sorry, I should make the text bigger. I think it should look pretty good now. Sorry about that, guys. Let's bring this down. So I think what's happening here is we're using, we haven't used this yet. We need to use dot request time. Nope. Use. Alright, there we go. And so what's happening here is that we have our middleware of request time here. And because of app.use, it gets, I guess, used or executed prior to the root path being gotten. And then here, this is the original response text. And and then we're going to add a small tag that contains requested at, and then here request rec.request time. Well, essentially rec now has this request time as a method to the request object. And now res.send response text is going to be sent. And we're going to get rid of this because we don't need it anymore because it's being used. It's actually being sent here, and then added, and then we're adding the request time. So let's see if it works. Let's turn on the, what you call it, Control C, node index. And there we got that. We're gonna make a request. It should say log first. It did. And then look, hey look, hello world, requested at this time. I don't know what time that is. I should know what time it is, but I don't. But we know that it's doing something. I think there's a way to do this though. New date. This says request time date.now. Oh, that's the date.now. I think there's a date method, date make take into. Let's see, date object. I shouldn't be doing this. Mozilla developers never work. Date.parse run all 0. Jose, are you the student from this year? Like, are you in my class this year? It is confusing, but this is kind of some higher level stuff though. Maybe some days I'll do like some easier stuff, Jose, if you're really interested in this. I kind of felt like you were interested in this. Earlier today you said something and I was like, really, like you understood something I said. I can't remember what it was. But don't feel bad. I mean, this is hard. I'm having a hard time understanding it. So, you know, I'm sure I could show you something that you could totally understand. And with time you can get here too. So where are we at now? It said this. I was gonna try to turn it into this, to actual text, and I did it some. Oh, you know what? I did it here. Let's see. This is time. I did it here. I know I did it here. Let's make this big. Alright, bring this down. New date. New date to string. That's what I needed to do. There we go. Fingers crossed. No, don't put that there. Put it here. Bring up
Looking
the
to sell
terminal.
or trade your vehicle,
See,
but
man,
want to
there's
get the
always
most
commercials
cash
in
for
this
your ride without
CD.
haggling?
Or
Introducing
this,
Rumbleon's OBO program. Get a cash offer to sell or trade in 15 minutes or less. If our offer is less than any competing dealership offer, then we'll raise it to win your loyalty. Stop haggling and start selling today. Rumbleon is a 100% online marketplace where you can buy, sell, trade, or finance your motorcycle, car, truck, or power sports vehicle. When dealers compete, you win. Learn more about the new OBO program at rumbleon.com.
Date.now.
Stream the brand new Puzzle Beats Heatwave Volume 1 album right here on Spotify. 17 bangers. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Let's do this. New date. Let's try that.
Had to redirect my focus off of bone in the fish. Push the pen and focus more on my switch the scope of being dope for only the block. Now that worldwide appeal is the
page and refresh.
Of all
There
the
we go.
things you do
That's
to
what I wanted
improve
to
your
do.
performance,
I
the
did
green
it.
juice, ice baths, TENS machine, shouldn't you take your sleep
All right,
just as
so
seriously?
now it
Air
looks a little,
Mattress
it
is
just
designed
honestly,
with
it just looks a little more
technology proven to
readable.
speed up muscle recovery,
You have
improve sleep
requested
quality,
on Monday,
and boost your
August
athletic
26,
performance. Try a
2019
Bear
at
mattress at home
1900
risk-free
hours,
for 100 nights. Get 20% off the sleep per
7:51,
day and
and
receive 2
obviously
free
that's
cloud
my
pillows with your
Central
mattress
Time.
purchase. Visit bearmattress.com/Spotify.
And
That's
that's it.
BEARmattress.com.
So let's keep going with middleware. Back to middleware. So where are we with middleware? The thing that's confusing me right now is that the thing that's confusing me about middleware is like, does this like automatically get run from the get-go? And I would imagine it does, just because it runs here. It's get executed here, right? Well, it's executed here with this also happening. And then app is executed, so app.use, and then it's also being executed, and we're passing in my logger. That's the function. So I guess here we're passing in a callback, and that callback is run because it's passed on to the request, right? But this is at least for sure. I know that these middleware are being run by this, and that's not even just here. So let's say if we made app.get, and then we put here, we'll use my student's name, Jose. Right? Oh well, I gotta put the root down. Shout out to Beastie Boys, and obviously I gotta put it in quotes because it's a string. And then we go here, and we gotta put in the callback, and then we're gonna put res. We didn't put. That's where I'm kind of worried though, because we didn't put next, but we'll run into it a little bit later. So rec.res, and then we're going to do the same exact thing here, except we're gonna change it up real quick. We're gonna put hello saying hello to Zay at rec.request.time. Oh, I didn't even put the small thing in, that's why it came out. Okay, so now Control C, we're going to node index, and we're going to go to here, and it should say, fingers crossed. Well, here it's still going to be the same because the root's still the same. But when we add Jose, check it out. Saying hello to Jose. Oh, I forgot to put at, of course. No, I should put on, really. If I'm gonna be a teacher, I should use the right prepositions, right? So let's do it again. Index. Let's see. And here it is. Saying hello to Jose on Monday, August 26th, 2019. So I got a pretty good. I have a pretty good grasp of what middleware is and kind of how to use it. I mean, essentially all we're doing is adding, you putting in these functions. I guess this part is this part up here where it says that you can execute any code, right? Because we haven't made any changes to the request and a response. Well, maybe we did. Maybe we added to the request and response objects because we were able to add, dot on the app. We were able to call, what is it called? Request time. That's now a part of the request object, and we added that here. We added that here. I just had a kind of a mini breakthrough right here. Look, this is the request object, and we added request.time. Well, here we said, hey, look, we're gonna give you the request first, and then this request is gonna become request. That request is gonna receive this method, which is gonna be date.now, right? So now when we pass in, when we call it here, it's actually reaching back here in the callback. So that's pretty cool. I think I understand that now. I think I get a pretty good idea. When you make a request to the root of the app now displays the timestamp of your request in the browser. Because you have access to the request object, the response object, the middleware function in the stack, and the whole Node.js API, the possibilities with middleware functions are endless. Hashtag infinite loop. When you make a request to the root of the app now displays the timestamp of your request in the browser. We just saw that. Because you have access to the following, because you have access to the request object, the response object, the next middleware function. Let me read that again. Because you have access to the request object, which I just talked about, the response object, we haven't hit that yet, the next middleware function in the stack, and the whole Node.js API, the possibilities with middleware functions are endless. Interesting. For more information about Express middleware, see using Express middleware. Configurable middleware. If you need your middleware to be configurable, which I guess, let's just do a quick Google check on that word. Capable of being configured, customizable, permitting, or rearrangement. So let's go to configured. Shape or put together, so we can shape it. Okay, so we can change it the way we want. If you need your middleware to be changeable, I like that word better just because I'm a dumb person. Just kidding. Export a function which accepts an option. Options. Where's my music at, bruh? We already heard this one. I like this one. Oh no, it was Opus 55, I think. But okay. If you need your middleware to be configurable, export a function which accepts an options object. Which then returns a middleware implementation based on the input parameters. Let's see what it says. File mymiddleware.js. So we're talking about modules here. We're going to export a function with objects return function rec res next execute next. The middleware can now be used as shown below. mw require middleware app.use mw middleware, and we're going to pass in an option 2. Gotcha. And we're going to pass in an object too. So I kind of want to copy and paste this, but we're passing in an object, which I guess could be used here. We can use like a for each loop, which would be kind of cool. I'm going to copy and paste this. I should keep it big, pretty big, huh? All right. Let's see here. Looking at casted. Saying hello. We did that. We're good here. Let's go back to the page, and here we are. The middleware can now be used as shown below. Cookie session. Refer to cookie session for examples of middleware. I think I totally get this now with middleware. I really do. The only thing I have a few things I'm confused about is how does middleware know when to be used, or is it always used? So it'd be interesting. Oh, I think I get it now. So the request is going to have parameters and queries and headers. So maybe in each what is it called? In each for each different HTTP, what do they call it? HTTP REST API. Let's see. Methods. Oh, come on, Paul. You know that. Methods. Guiding principles of REST. Methods. There we go. So for each method, you can call it specifically based on the parameters, the the root, the path, the queries, and the parameters, the request. I forget what they're called. I just read it here. I can look in my book. I need to make sure I know this. This is book that I read that I'm reading. It's called HTTP Protocol. And here we go. Here. No, as a matter of, I could get it here. I really could, but I'm gonna look here first because I think the Linda page had a better image here. I think it was here. Enemy of an HTTP request.
Differently
Here.
identify a DOM.
So based on this, that's probably how middleware can be specific to the method. We're going to use the path and the query. Not sure 100%, but it seems that way. Okay. So I think it's a good stopping point. I've been streaming for 48 minutes and it doesn't even feel like it, but I really enjoyed this. I'm going to try to do this at least once daily, if not, a minimum of 5 days a week. Gotta have my weekends, am I right? Guts, I'm not sure if you're still there. But anyways, so I think we're done with middleware, a basic understanding of what it is. And thanks for watching. I'm going to be doing this quite a bit, so see you next time. And that's it. See you guys.